What y'all know about it? But look, I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you. Nah, nah, nah. I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you. Yeah, yeah.
What's good, y'all? What's good? I hope y'all are doing great this weekend. I guess that's when these videos are going out. So yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying y'all weekend. I hope y'all had a great week overall. Let's go ahead and just get into it. This is Stranger Things, the saddest deaths. Okay, so the saddest deaths in all Stranger Things, basically. Sad emoji. Alright, so I'm gonna like the video. Make sure you guys like this video for more Stranger Things content. Make sure you guys comment down below what other content you want me to check out. If the comment section is turned off, head to another video and just comment whatever you like. Anyway, I'm excited for this. I'm ready to see like the different deaths. You know what I'm saying? I got some grapes, bro. I'm gonna be eating some grapes and watching. So let's get it. Let's get it.
With the new season boom of Stranger Things, I started to remember all the good and sad moments we lived with the series. It is without a doubt one of the best series that has come out in a long time. With its amazing plot, it's made us get more attached with the story and characters. That's why some of the deaths were very sad for the fans or viewers. So here, we bring you the saddest deaths of Stranger Things that made many of us bawl our eyes out like little girls. Let's start with Sarah Hopper, the daughter of our favorite officer, Jim Hopper. A character to whom we become very attached, and for this reason, her death is even sadder. When Jim and his family went to the park, Jim started playing with his daughter. Until at one point, his daughter stopped running. She was locked, scared, and was short of breath. Her worried parents quickly took her to the hospital, where they were giving the sad news that she had cancer. Jim and his wife always went to visit her at the hospital. Jim read stories to his daughter, but unfortunately, the cancer did not get better. It continued to spread. In all the times they went to visit her, they never received good news about their daughter's condition. And sadly, the cancer ended Sarah's life. This affected Jim and his wife so much that both of them ended up in depression, deciding that the best thing to do was to get divorced. After all this, Jim was never the same. He became an alcoholic and had to take antidepressants to overcome the tragic death of his daughter. Come on, kid! Please wake up! Please.
So sad.
Benny Hammond was the first one who tried to help Eleven after she escaped from the lab she was trapped in. When Eleven came into his restaurant, she tried to steal food from him, but Benny caught her in the act, yelling at her and telling her what the hell was she doing. But suddenly, he realized that she was just a scared little girl who had been through a lot. Benny took her into his restaurant, gave her food and clothes, but not like an old pervert man, if not more like a good Samaritan with a good big old heart. He really wanted to help her and protect her. He tried to make conversation with her, but all he got was her name, 11. Benny, as a good person would do, called social services, thinking that 11 had received a type of cruel abuse.
That she's scared to death. Yeah, I think maybe she's been abused or...
But this is where all went wrong for Benny. Benny didn't expect that the agent who showed up at his door was truly the agent Connie Fraser. She was in charge of capturing 11. She pretended to be a social services person, looking for the affected child. But when Benny took her to 11, she decided that Benny was no longer useful for her. So she shot him in the head.
Damn!
When the Hawkins police found Benny's body, it looked like it was a suicide. This is sad. Very sad. Benny was just a good guy trying to do the right thing. This was definitely a sad ending for a good-hearted man.
Nice to meet you.
Let's continue with Barbara Holland. Even though her role was to be the best friend of
plays
the
in a
main
lot of
character,
stuff.
she being a secondary character won the affection of many of us because she was very friendly and some could identify with her. Barbara was Nancy's Wheeler best friend. Nancy, being a pick-me girl, she asks Barbara to accompany her to a party. You know, to try to be cool. But I think the only reason she invited her is because Barbara had a car. At the party, Barbara wasn't too comfortable being there, and her friend Nancy changed her whole attitude to being literally a pick-me girl.
Is that supposed to impress me?
Nancy almost forced Barbara to try to shotgun a beer. Even Barb said no a lot of times. But when Barb tries to open a beer can with a knife to do a shotgun, she cuts her hand. Barbara was not an expert at drinking like the others at the party. So even though her friend Nancy told her it was going to be fun,
Come on. They're clams. I want to. It's fun.
she ended up embarrassing herself.
That's
After that,
tough.
Barb goes and puts a bandage on her hand, and her so-called best friend Nancy was having fun with the others and goes to the room of the guy she likes, telling Barbara that she better go home.
What in the world?
Go ahead and go home, okay?
What a dick friend. Barbara, getting sad over the attitude of her friend, goes to the pool, seeing her reflection in the pool when suddenly the blood of her bandage drops into the pool, which attracted the Demogorgon. Teleporting behind her and pushing her into the upside-down world, where she was dragged out and killed by the Demogorgon.
Wait,
The
huh?
sad- Teleporting behind her and pushing her into the upside-down world, where she was dragged out and killed by the Demogorgon. The saddest part of this is that Barbara's parents had the hope of finding their daughter, taking it to the extreme of selling their house to pay a private investigator to
that's
find their
tough,
daughter.
man.
Soon, Nancy knows the whole truth and had to carry all the weight of thinking that she was to blame for the death of her friend.
How did she
Which
find
I
out?
say, she was to blame. She also has to carry with the weight of not being able to tell Barb's parents the truth of what happened to their daughter. Alexei Smirnov, or Dr. Alexei, was a scientist who appeared in the third season. With this character, we got attached pretty quickly, for his childish attitude, charisma, and joy that he represented. Alexei works on a portal that united the world of the Upside Down with our world. Then, Alexei had the misfortune of being captured by Joyce and Jim to be interrogated about what they were up to. But Jim and Joyce were unsuccessful because Alexei only spoke in Russian.
Yes, machine.
After knowing this, they took him to someone named Murray, who could speak Russian and was definitely a crazy guy. From the beginning, Alexei didn't care about anything and didn't want to cooperate. But after living more the American dream with Joyce and Jim, he loved it. He was fascinated by how Americans lived, so much that he ended up wanting to be an American citizen. After all the adventures, Jim, Joyce, and Alexei formed a good relationship. And as soon as Alexei considers them his friends, he ends up revealing everything they had to know about the project. Everyone decides to return to the laboratory to try to close the diabolical portal and end it once and for all. Alexei
Sucks
and
knowing
Murray
this is
went
all
to a
gonna end
fair
badly.
where poor Alexei met Gregory, a Russian hitman hired to kill him for his betrayal. Gregory shot him right in the chest, ending his life.
Damn.
We all thought that Alexei was going to be free and have his green card, but he died unluckily sad. Murray loved him so much, and when he came back and saw that his friend was dead, he was devastated like many of us. We'll always remember Alexei. Long live Alexei. The only consolation is that he lived his last moments happy.
Oh, you look happy there. That seems
This
sad. He
death
seemed like
is
a good guy.
certainly one of the most painful ones. Billy Hargrove was a main character and major antagonist in the third season. At the beginning, Billy was a bully, hated by everyone for his behavior towards others and his stepsister, Max. But then, we know more about why he acts like that, and he ends up mending his ways. He works as a lifeguard at a local pool in Hawkins, and because of his good looks, we could say he was a playboy. He received attention from many girls, and even sugar mommies. Karen Wheeler, Nancy, and Mike's mother, starts flirting with Billy, and even though she's married, she feels lonely and without attention, which Billy takes the opportunity to tell her that maybe she wants an affair with him. But at the end, she ends up regretting and not going to see him because of her family. Billy had everything to go and see her, even the condoms on deck. But on his way to where he was going to meet her, he suddenly hit something, losing control of the vehicle and stopping in a factory. He gets out of the car and notices this viscous liquid on the windows and on the part of the hit. Suddenly, some strange noises start to sound, coming from the factory. And as in any horror movie, if you hear strange sounds in an abandoned, dark, and definitely haunted place, you have to go to investigate, right? And Billy did not disappoint us. He went to investigate, so we were not left with the doubt of what the hell was that. When suddenly, he's grabbed by the leg and dragged to the steel factory where the Mind Flyer gets in him. Puts a part of his essence inside of him, this making Billy the main body of the Mind Flyer. Now the Mind Flyer is using Billy's body, starts capturing victims so he can possess them. In the last battle of the Starcourt Mall, Billy fights against Eleven, and Eleven knows that Billy is still in there, being controlled by the stinky, ugly thing. 11, trying to get Billy back, shows him his last happy memory, where he is with his mom. In sequence of memories, we also see a bit of the history of why Billy was bad with others, and all the constant abuse he went through. His father abusing his mom, hitting her and disrespecting her. All that abuse made his mom leave and abandon poor Billy to be abused by his dad. Later, Billy's dad returns to have another couple, where Billy meets his stepsister, Max. Billy, traumatized by all of this, takes the same behavior of his father towards poor Max. All these memories made us feel more empathy and love for the character. When remembering all of this, Billy drops a tear and sacrifices himself so that the Mind Flyer does not take 11. The Mind Flyer ends up killing him, dropping his body, where her stepsister Max runs toward him, and Billy, with very few forces and inside, says to her, Max starts to cry, and this shows us that in spite of all of the mistreatments of Billy towards Max, they still loved each other very much. The death or missing of Jim Hopper was one of the saddest, but we'll not talk about it, because we don't know if he's dead or missing. So, we'll talk about one of the sweetest and amazing characters named Bob Newby. He was Joyce's new boyfriend. He was super cool and affectionate with Joyce. His relationship with Joyce's son, Will, was great. He got along very well with him. Will saw Bob more than a stepfather. He saw him as his best friend. Bob had a great future in the series, but sadly, he had to die.
Bro, is that who I think it is, bro?
Investigating in the laboratory of Hawkins, trying to escape, the doors were locked because there was no electricity and there was a bunch of demodogs blocking the entrance. Jim, Joyce, and Bob were trapped in a laboratory area and needed someone to raise a lever to turn on the electricity. Bob volunteers and successfully manages to turn on the electricity, but as soon as he runs to the entrance, a demodog goes for him and begins to attack him. Joyce and the others have to leave him behind. There were no bullets or something to save him. Joyce is heartbroken by the death of Bob. Bob definitely died as we all would like to die, sacrificing ourselves to save our loved ones and looking like heroes. Definitely a lot of good characters with good hearts died, but without a doubt, Bob could have had a great future in the series. Or what do you guys think? Are there any other sad deaths in Stranger Things? Leave your answers in
Alright, well, yeah, I'm sure you guys would say now after another season of Stranger Things
Remember all
that there are more deaths to add to this list. So I wonder if there's a video of these deaths from the recent season. But if not, then I'll have to wait until a video comes out for that, so that I can react to the new deaths from the new season. But yeah, this was definitely interesting. Shout out to him for the commentary. It was definitely sounding like somebody was just telling me scary stories, like just knowing it was gonna end terribly in some way. But even some moments leading up to it were like at least good or nice in some way, you know. So that's why I was like, oh dang, it kind of took me aback. I'm like, dang, it's gonna end badly though. But yeah, I enjoyed this. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe, hit that bell so y'all know when I post. And if you guys do subscribe, if y'all do hit that bell, you'll see me in the next video. Stay lit, y'all. Yeah.